And today we will get the first appearance of Jay Powell and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin as they are set to testify before lawmakers at 10 a.m. this morning. This coming after the public tiff between the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. And we begin there with Yahoo Finance's Brian Cheung giving us the lowdown on what to expect later this morning. So, Brian, let's begin with the prepared remarks that we got from Chair Powell last night, and Powell raising a few eyebrows with I wouldn't say I guess just a cautious tone perhaps on what a vaccine could mean for the economy and essentially looking at the resilience of the economy and pretty much taking the other side.
Absolutely, Miles. It was about 4 weeks ago that we got that last Fed decision where the Fed didn't raise rates, but hinted that maybe quantitative easing could be the next step. But as you mentioned, this is going to be the first congressional hearing of Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin and Chairman Jay Powell since that public spat about 2 weeks ago over whether or not they should have extended those 13 liquidity facilities designed to backstop markets ranging from corporate debt to municipal bonds. And what we did hear from the Fed chairman, based off of prepared remarks that were submitted to the Senate Banking Committee ahead of today's 10 a.m. Eastern meeting, again in the Senate, was that the Fed chairman expressed caution over where the economy is going and saying that he did think that the emergency backstops were really important to key credit markets and help restore the flow of credit. But on the vaccine front, some interesting commentary from the Fed chairman. He said, quote, "Recent news on the vaccine front is very positive for the medium term. For now, significant challenges and uncertainties remain, including timing, production, and distribution and efficacy across different groups." It actually attracted a number of commentary from the street, like Neil Dutta over at Renaissance Macro, who wrote this morning that he thought it was reprehensible that the Fed chair was questioning the efficacy of the vaccine while at the same time trying to say that it's a positive development. Neil Dutta claiming that this is categorically a positive thing, so not good for the Fed chair to try to undermine that. Now, aside from that, again, the focus is also going to be on the liquidity facilities because, as we recall, the Treasury Secretary ordered the Federal Reserve to allow 9 of those 13 facilities to expire. That would cover the municipal liquidity facility, in addition to those corporate credit backstops that have been pretty critical over the last 8 or 9 months or so. That'll be very interesting. This is akin to a couple that is being seen publicly since their little ugly breakup. So that will be very interesting to watch, again, as that hearing kicks off at 10 a.m. today.
Yes, Brian, that's why the financial media loves Neil Dutta with those sorts of quotes readily available for discussion. But let's talk a bit about the return of the money that this sort of weird technical, note basically that Stephen Mnuchin sent Jay Powell saying, "Hey, you guys have 400 some odd billion dollars. You need to give it back to me." There's now discussion today, reporting today, that perhaps lawmakers are thinking about an additional CARES Act type package, and I think that Mnuchin's argument is basically, I can use this money to fund that, even though it's not quite how it works. But I would imagine that that's going to be a large part of what we hear from the Treasury Secretary today, sort of justifying that action and encouraging lawmakers to pass stimulus along these lines.
Well, we could get into the nitty gritty of whether or not the actions from the Treasury in rescinding the funding to these Fed facilities is helpful. There's an argument that the Congressional Budget Office, which scores how much it adds to the deficit, certain types of legislation, they said that there would be no increase to the deficit as a result of what was given to the Federal Reserve, because all of that was contingent on the Federal Reserve paying back the Treasury in the first place. Now, of course, that's a side point to, I think, what you're really asking here, which is whether or not the developments over the past few days will be encouraging this lame duck administration to pass some sort of fiscal package. We did hear some hints from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell yesterday that he is interested in trying to get something across the finish line before inauguration of next year. Now, of course, that's not necessarily up to the Fed chairman, but we do expect to hear him in that hearing today probably drill on the point of getting more fiscal stimulus done, which would help the economy, as not only Fed Chairman Powell, but other Fed speakers have said in the past. So that's definitely going to be interesting to watch, again, as that hearing kicks off at 10 a.m. in the Senate Banking Committee today.
All right, Yahoo Finance's Brian Cheung. Brian, we'll talk to you later on this week and track any developments that come out of today's testimony.